When I was a little kid, I was already a nerd, obsessed with math. While I was fiddling with equations, I stumbled on Einstein's recipe for nuclear weapons. Now there, I thought, was a thing worth preventing, so I took a look at its permutations, among which was this hideous potential prophecy. It seemed to suggest that if the nuclear industry and the military extracted from matter energy equal to the mass of the matter, they might destroy both, with the possible outcome of depleting the volume of our biosphere so that it would collapse in upon itself. At first it seemed like an idea so monumentally horrendous that it was an impossibility, but then I heard on the news that the nuclear industry was not keeping a very good record of just how much nuclear fuel they were putting in their reactors. It was reported that, on occasion, when they removed depleted fissionable material from a reactor core, it was light by weight. But the possibility that they were being that careless with something so deadly seemed so infinitesimally small that another explanation appeared more likely. Someone was stealing fissionable material. It was that, or reactors really were destroying matter and energy, like the permutation suggested. I wrote that down as a theory, which I referred to as hyperthermal dissembler implosion, and sent it into some nuclear labs for comment. I never got a comment, but I did get a call from a sometimes employer of mine who'd been a military intelligence spook. He said that the FBI had just been at his place of business questioning him about me. They asked about everything from my being an international jewel smuggler to my expressing any interest in waging violent revolution, all of which was ridiculous. I started trying to find out why the feds were sticking their noses into my life. The FBI and the few other agencies which even bothered to answer my queries all denied knowing what the heck I was talking about. But unexplained things involving the FBI kept happening to me, so I persisted in trying to find out why. After a dozen years of trying, the FBI finally admitted that they had records pertaining to me and that they were classified secret by executive order, but they would not tell me why. So I persisted for another quarter of a century because disasters kept befalling me. I was denied classes that I needed for graduation at a university after a student who worked around the administration building told me that the FBI had come to the university and had gone through my records. 26 years after their first admission, the feds admitted that my secret records were filed under the heading Foreign Counterintelligence. And how much worse can it get than that? Oh, it can. Homeland Security began calling around to have me investigated, and the results were devastating. This is one page from a 6-page rant written against me by a professor at a university where I was getting straight A grades in a doctoral program. She states here that she was notified by a source outside the university that I might be a member of a terrorist gang. She feared that I might become violent, so she had me segregated from every class she would ever teach at that university. I had to drop out without my PhD. Then the people in my hometown found out that Homeland Security had called the local cops to have me investigated. Some of those people tried to drive me out of town, so I pushed back by exposing their corruption, at which point, as this police report explains, a man in a skid steer chased me down while screaming, "Get out of town or we'll drive you out of town." And he came within 2 feet of cutting me in half with a bucket on his skid steer. When even that didn't get rid of me, the cops met with local officials at the city hall and tried to figure out a way to get me arrested and imprisoned. But they couldn't find any crime to arrest me for, so someone made up a lie and they tried to frame me for a crime that was never committed. Fortunately, 2 insiders hand-wrote and signed a statement attesting that the whole frame-up was a bold-faced lie. So now I hide out in the basement of my 100-year-old home most of the time for fear the government will find something else to do to me. And needless to say, I'd like to know what the hell is going on. It's been 54 years now that the United States government has been terrorizing me, so I'm asking anyone who sees this video and who has deep knowledge of nuclear physics, please tell me whether the nuclear nightmare described here is even possible. Or should I look elsewhere for the cause of a lifetime of government interference in my life?